Poor Things, starring Emma Stone, is out in theaters right now, guys. It's one of my one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and did it deliver? It's a weird kind of Frankenstein story from Yorgos Lanthimos, where basically Willem Dafoe plays like the Dr. Frankenstein, and he puts together this monstrosity known as Emma Stone's character, and she's kind of like learning the way around the world, right? How do you respond to society? Let's go over to the IMDb. Poor Things. The incredible tale about the fantastical evolution of Bella Baxter. Yeah, that's Bella, right? She plays Bella. That's her name. A young woman brought back to life by the brilliant and unorthodox scientist, Dr. Goodwin Baxter. Now, this is from the director of The Lobster and Killing of the Sacred Deer. Really polarizing films. Very different style filmmaker. He can evoke a strong emotional response out of you. If you have ever watched Killing of a Sacred Deer, you're going to hate that movie when you first watch it. But then you'll be like, but no, there's some really cool stuff going on in there, acting-wise, script-wise. And it's the same for Poor Things. Acting-wise, Willem Dafoe and the supporting cast, Emma Stone, Mark Ruffalo is also in this. The world building in this is great. We just watched Rebel Moon on Netflix, and I wish Zack Snyder took a page out of this. Like, see, yeah, we get these wide establishing shots of this weird kind of island kind of thing that wouldn't really exist anywhere. But then we go and play in that world. We get to see the skylines and stuff like that. So it feels like, yeah, it's fantastical, but it feels like it's also kind of like real, like tangible, right? You're not just sitting on a green screen stage. The cinematography in this is also breathtaking. Like, see how it's kind of like cropped in black there? Yorgos seems to use that when something weird is going on. And this movie has a lot of weird things going on in it. So if somebody's being salacious or being hypersexual, then that's the kind of angle that you would see, right? Or if somebody's peeing on the floor, getting beat up because you winked at somebody, that kind of thing. That's what happens in this. And it'd be like, I didn't expect that to happen. Oh, we're going down that route. Ooh, do I like this? But then it transforms into being that weird kind of movie where you evolve with the character Bella, played expertly by Emma Stone, where it's like she's beginning to learn about the world. She's absorbing it. And while she was like playfully innocent at the beginning, also very murderous, is the best way to say it. There's a combination there with that, with adult themed sex. It's just like, what is this movie? And it's like, my God. You think that with that kind of crass, in your face stuff would be off-putting. It'd be like, nah, guys, if you watched Wolf of Wall Street and you didn't like the way that women were depicted in that, you're like, that's really crass. I don't know if I like this. It's not like that. Yes, there's a lot of crass kind of depravity going on in this film. A lot has to do from Mark Ruffalo. It's like, yeah, it's crass, but I'm kind of also kind of like enjoying it at the same time. It's again, I'm going to use that word, weird. Windows, phallic shaped windows. Costuming, production design in this is brilliant. It's fantastic. And I said this coming out of the theater. If you like movies this year, like Beau is Afraid or Asteroid City, which is artistic and it's got that art house flair to it, then you'll like this movie. You'll fall in love with this movie because this movie is like that, but it's done so much better. Like everything that you thought Beau is Afraid was going to be like, this movie is. Beau is Afraid was just boring. It dealt with like, yeah, over the top kind of crass stuff as well. Oh yeah, you get to see a little bit of it there. Sorry, it's that's in the trailer. You see that in the trailer, so you guys know what's going to happen to her in this movie, kind of thing, right? As she's exploring her body. Um, it is what it is. But you'll come out of it going, I don't. Wait, did I like that movie? Yeah, that's the way it is. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling here. Let's go over to my score sheet and get in some preliminary scores here. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point each. And let's start off with the acting. Emma Stone is awesome in this. Mark Ruffalo is also really awesome in this. And there's a really cool scene with, because it is that Frankenstein story where she comes back and meets her creator at the end. And there's some really cool moments there from Willem Dafoe as well, where you could say that's Oscar worthy acting right there. And what I liked about it too is that, yeah, you could tell that he's a crazy kind of mad scientist, but there's all he always goes on to talk about his father and how his father treated him and gave him the scars on his face. So Willem Dafoe does a great job in portraying that with the with minimal, uh, I would say, direction. But that's just the power of Willem Dafoe, right? You know, he'll sink his acting meat hooks into any little bit that you give him, and he's just full on display here with this kind of thing, right? There's a revelation in it that is heartbreaking to that character, and it's like the movie's just full of that kind of stuff. Um, Continuing on with the direction of this movie, um, I got to give it a full 2 points, because everything artistically, technically, cinematically was well done. Um, Acting wise, well done. Uh, you would think that because pacing might be an issue here. This movie comes in about 2 hours. You're not going to feel it because everything's done. This movie does take a little bit of a side story where it steps to do a tangent towards the end, but it's kind of like it does that to tie up a loose end. And sometimes when you go off in tangents in movies, it's kind of like, guys, just get back to the main story. But no, you actually want to go down that weird story with Bella and close off, because it's like Frankenstein, guys. Uh, who is that body belonging to? It's kind of like explaining that kind of thing, right? You want to know that. It closes off certain things. So story wise, could my God, let's give that 1.5 for right now. Not 1.3, James, 1.5. We work in increments of 0.5 here. Cinematography, as I said, all those weird shots work. Score, I'll give a full 0.2. And I need to highlight something here about the score, the soundtrack. This movie makes really good use of the soundtrack in it. And if you remember scenes like from The Lobster where they like fight and then it's got that weird kind of synth or strings music in it, it's kind of like that for this, but the soundtrack is noticeable and they do use it well. There's like a scene when they're rubbing body parts that they use I think it's like a slide whistle or some weird flute. When they hear once you start to hear that music cue, it's like, oh, okay, we're going there again, huh? And you're like in the theater listening to this weird flute music, watching people. So the score is impactful, but it's not a soundtrack score that you would go out and say, oh, I want to buy the soundtrack to that. That's what I wouldn't put it on in the background to listen to it, but it is impactful and it is noticeable. So I'm giving the score a full point there. All right, let's go over to the tomato meter and see what people are saying about this movie. Poor Things. 93% by the critics, 90% by the audience, guys, and it's high up there. Yeah, if you're somebody who's apprehensive to artsy type films, like the beginning starts off very artsy. And Yorgos does a great job of using black and white. I would say this is a good application of black and white. This is a movie that uh, these scenes that were in black and white were shot for black and white. Like, look at the colors and the textures of the stairwell and the shadows on her face. It's not a film that was shot in color and then turned black and white. And yes, look at the chicken dog, guys, the duck dog in the background. The movie's full of little things like that. It would be like, wait a minute, what kind of creature is that? Yeah, it's so wonderfully weird. There's a dance. My favorite scene in this. There's a dance scene in this, uh, where it's like Mark Ruffalo and Emma Stone dancing on the stage, and it's easily it got the biggest laugh out of me because it's like you could tell when actors get like really cool parts and they want to sink their teeth like into it and just have fun workshopping things. That dance scene um, was a lot of fun. Uh, yeah, a big smile went across my face when you see Mark Ruffalo start to move his feet and get on the floor. It's like, wow, weird, man. All right, so let's take a look at the snapshot reviews and see if we agree with the people, if what they're saying is true or not, or things we agree with. So, Minneapolis Star Tribune. No actor in 2023 has committed to a role more than Emma Stone does in Poor Things. Yeah, she commits. She bears it all too, so she's very exposed in this. Rex Reed didn't like it. I hated it, but reluctantly give it 1 star for whimsical sets and costumes, and there's a minute sprinkle of suspense while you wait for a point of view that never arrives. No, it closes off. There's no loose ends in this. You just weren't paying attention. Um, Most eagerly successful is the creepy lawyer Mark Ruffalo, who yeah, who leads Bella on worldwide adventures that allow ever notorious director Yorgos Lanthimos substantial room for more quirkiness than style. Best film of the year, Pittsburgh Magazine says. It's up there, guys. It's up there. I want to see one more review from somebody who didn't like it. Not you, Rex. We've already seen yours. Uh, Art Fuse. Maybe the point is that the film itself is a fusion of dis- disparate elements, a whimsical, extravagant chimera of styles and images. If so, then it is to the detriment of the pathos that is at the heart of Poor Things. What are you talking? That's the definition of word salad right there. Uh, okay, Alachia Queen. She's a YouTuber. I never thought I'd want to see an R-rated Disney princess film by Yorgos Lanthimos, and after seeing this, I still don't. It is a little bit like a princess movie, because Bella is kind of like a princess. Now she's a very adult rated. This could be a very easily an X-rated film. Uh, so if people out there who were clamoring for an R-rated Disney from Rebel Moon, then you're going to get an R-rated Disney princess movie from Yorgos Lanthimos, and that's the perfect way to articulate Poor Things. It's an R, almost X-rated Disney princess story. Oh, I love this movie. There it is, right there. Let's go and take a look at my final score and see if I rank up there with everybody else. Um, Whoops. Interesting premise, right? Uh, Interesting premise. So, zero point 0.5 for that. I would tell you to go see this in the theater, so I give it that a full point. Would I watch this again? 1.5? Oh, most definitely. That's a 9 out of 10. Would I own it on Blu-ray even? My God. 4K. If Chris Schober is still here, yeah, man, this is something that I would have on 4K. For God's sakes. It's okay. Um, Out of his movies, Lobster, Killing of a Sacred Deer. There's one more I'm forgetting. Poor Things. Poor Things is his best. But closely behind that, I think Killing of the Sacred Deer is up there as well, and that's one that I absolutely hated. My my response to Killing of a Sacred Deer was visceral, and a lot of that has to do with what happens at the end, at the climax. Killing of a Sacred Deer, you can guess what happens, but it's kind of like. But then in hindsight, I'm like, but it was so masterfully crafted. The acting in it was great. The story was telling was great. Was it? Because it made me feel this visceral thing, and people will be like that for this as well. Maybe due to the hyper sexualization of things that happen to her character, people will feel that visceralness to that, perhaps. But it's warranted, and it comes around. It pays off at the end. And I would love to see continuing adventures of Bella, but I don't think we need to because it's all in this movie. It's all said and done in here, man. And it's a grand experience. 9.5 out of 10, the highest rated movie of the year so far for me. But will it be number one movie of the year for me? No, I still think that I would have to give that to Oppenheimer. Although this is probably close second, guys. Very close second. And then probably Godzilla -1 would be number 3. My list is coming together, guys. Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Godzilla -1. Hey, you guys, whew, we've had a good year in movies, and it's good. I wish that this is a good way to end it out, man, on a big high like this. Poor Things. I can't say enough. I'm rambling on now, guys. I don't want to oversell it to you guys because if I say that it's so grand, but it is, man. It totally is. And it's kind of like, there'll be times when be like, where's this great movie you were telling me about, James? Where's this great movie? Just give it a chance. Give it a chance. It comes around and everything pays off. There's reasons for things to be there. And you're not going to get an overuse of slow-mo in this. Great movie. 9.5 for Poor Things. I'd watch it again on repeat for sure. There it is. Thumbs up. All right, guys, if you like this kind of thing, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. What else can you find here on the channel, Mirror Domains? Well, we did a review for Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom. That's up on the channel right now as well. We watched Rebel Moon. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon, Part 1, full movie reaction up on the channel right now. And, of course, my review for Poor Things is up. My review for Wonka is also up on the channel. I enjoyed that movie, too. That's also a really good movie. We watched the finale of Survivor Season 45, and we're in the midst of watching Hell's Kitchen, and we do movie news throughout the week, where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day. Guys, we like movies here, man, and if that's your bag, hope you can come join us. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and I'll see you next time, right here on Your Domains.